Imagine a land where ambition soared across vast plateaus and river valleys, a bold experiment trying to weave together different territories into one grand future. A federation brimming with hope, power struggles, and dreams that ultimately crumbled into the dust of history. Welcome to the Library of Lost Lands, where we delve into the stories of countries that once were, but are no longer with us. Today we journey to the Federation of Rhodesia and Nyasaland. Formerly known as the Central African Federation, it existed from 1953 to 1963. Its capital was Salisbury, located in southern Rhodesia, today known as Harare, Zimbabwe, southern Rhodesia, northern Rhodesia, and Nyasaland. At its peak, the Federation was home to around 6.4 million people, the majority being indigenous Africans, ruled over by a white settler minority. The Federation was born out of British imperial ambitions in post-World War II Africa. Colonial administrators believed that unifying southern Rhodesia, northern Rhodesia, today's Zambia, and Nyasaland, modern-day Malawi, would create an economically self-sufficient powerhouse, balancing white settler interests with gradual African advancement, at least on paper. The idea was that together, these territories could pool resources: southern Rhodesia's infrastructure, northern Rhodesia's rich copper mines, and Nyasaland's fertile lands, into a booming regional economy. At its inception, the Federation truly seemed like a land of promise. Its leaders envisioned it becoming the industrial heartland of Africa. Railways expanded, industries thrived, and schools, hospitals, and modern cities grew. There was talk of creating a multiracial society that would lead by example, bringing prosperity and progress to Central Africa. But beneath the surface, trouble brewed. The Federation's political system heavily favored the white minority, marginalizing the African majority. Efforts at slow, controlled political reform clashed with growing African nationalism, which demanded immediate majority rule. The economic benefits, too, were uneven. White settlers and certain industries prospered, while millions of Africans remained disenfranchised and impoverished. Resistance movements gained strength, especially in Nyasaland and northern Rhodesia, where calls for independence grew louder and more forceful. By the late 1950s, the winds of change were sweeping across Africa. Britain itself was rethinking its colonial empire, and African leaders like Hastings Banda in Nyasaland and Kenneth Kaunda in northern Rhodesia galvanized mass movements against Federation rule. In 1960, the British government, under mounting pressure, agreed to review the Federation's future. By 1963, it was clear. The Federation was unsustainable. It formally dissolved on December 31, 1963. Soon after, Nyasaland became Malawi, northern Rhodesia became Zambia, and southern Rhodesia. Well, its journey was more complicated, eventually declaring itself Rhodesia and later becoming Zimbabwe after years of conflict. Although the Federation is gone, its fingerprints are still visible. The modern countries of Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe share deep cultural, economic, and infrastructural ties that trace back to those 10 formative years. Railways, roads, and urban layouts from the Federation era still serve millions. Even some political and legal frameworks laid during that time echo faintly in the modern institutions of these nations. The Federation of Rhodesia and Nyasaland was a grand experiment, one that promised unity but was ultimately undermined by inequality and the unstoppable tide of African self-determination. It reminds us that no matter how ambitious a project may be, when it ignores the voices of its people, its fate is often already sealed. Thanks for visiting the Library of Lost Lands. Join us next time as we uncover the next forgotten country from history's shelves.